Hey there puzzlers, my name is FLEB, and today I'm going to be covering a puzzle hunt puzzle. It's from Baffle 13, and Baffle stands for the Boston Area Puzzle Hunt League. It ran a few years ago and I wrote a few puzzles for it when it ran, but I was really impressed with the puzzle by David Greenspan. It's made up of these pieces here. To get a better idea of why I find this interesting, let's take a closer look at these pieces. Here are the 18 pieces that make up the puzzle. They're cut of clear acrylic, and you can see through both sides. There are basically two types of these pieces. There's pieces like this, which have no nubs on them at all. And then there are pieces like this, which have jigsaw-like nubs that can fit into each other. It's a little difficult to see on the camera, but on these nubs, there are actually little symbols, and there's two different ones. There's a small line, like this one here, and there's a big line, like these two. If you'd like to try this puzzle yourself, there's actually a paper version available, which I've linked in the description below. One important part of it is that it has the header to the puzzle, which has a little bit more information. Now, if you were actually doing the event, you would know that the only important thing in that header was the title of the puzzle. So that's all you have, the title of the puzzle and these 18 pieces. How can we get to the answer? Let's find out. The way that we're going to try to solve something like this, where we don't have the instructions for what we're doing, is to think very generally about what these things might do. They look an awful lot like jigsaw pieces, so I imagine that they fit together. Well, if they fit together, then maybe these nubs only fit in certain ways into other pieces. How can we do that? After all, there's like a lot of different places where this piece could go. It could go here, or it could go here, for instance, like this. Well, we should try to find a piece that's very constrained, that's very hard to fit another piece into. And my eyes are drawn to this one here, because it has a recessed piece there. Let's try to get organized here, so let's move this piece over to the left. Let's take out all the pieces that don't have nubs and put them in a separate pile. And then let's try each of these 18 pieces with this one, and see if it fits. For example, can we fit this one with this one? That's not going to happen. How about this one? Nope. After trying all of the pieces together, the only two that fit together are these two. Like this. Alright, that's a start. What about now these two? Are these constrained at all? This one especially catches my eye, because it needs to have a nub on the end. Kind of like this, but this one isn't faced the right direction. This one would work. That's a candidate. If we go through and try all of these pieces, that's the only one that works. So that must go there. Similarly, the only piece that fits into here is this big long one like this. Alright. Now we're getting somewhere. I'm not sure that that piece there is going to be very constrained, or that one, because it seems like they have a lot of freedom. But there might be other pieces that we can work with as well. So let's put that aside, and think about the other pieces we have here. This one looks particularly constrained, because it has that little piece in the middle there, that's in a bit. So we need to find something that can stretch down a little bit to get in there. That's a no. That's a no. And going through all the pieces again, the only piece that works is this one. Looking at this region here, there's not going to be very many things here that could fit in there. I'm making the assumption right now that we're making a solid shape. That's not necessarily the case, but this just happens to look an awful lot like the shape here. And putting that in there just feels right. Now if you look at this is now very constrained. There's only one piece that fits in there, which is this one. The snowflake. And that's what makes me think that that assumption was probably pretty good. So we have these two big regions, and it isn't that we can do very much more with that. So why don't we look at the other pieces we have left and see if we can find another piece that's constrained. This piece looks pretty constrained. It has a nub that goes pretty far into the piece. The only piece it works with here is this one, but it actually blocks the hole there in both configurations. So this has to go somewhere in this. Either in this bottom one, something like that, or in this top one. It doesn't fit there, so it must go in the bottom one there. Well, now this is looking like an edge of something. So now what? Well, we would like to fit these two together somehow. This one here, this piece fits in there very nicely. And then with this region here, it looks like it kind of goes together, something like that. Let's see if we could find a piece that would fit in there. That's this piece, which goes in there just about perfectly. Alright, so now we're getting somewhere. We have a big region here, and we have a big region here that looks almost exactly the same, so we could fill that in. And it's starting to look like something. That piece fits in very nicely there. There's only one piece that fits here. Now we have a region there, which we can fill in like this. That could fit there. That fits in very nicely there. And finally, we have the fully assembled shape. And there it is. A snow cone. After all, this is the Snow Cone Man puzzle. Remember those symbols from before? You can see them here on the nubs. You can follow them around the puzzle, going from piece to piece, and going through each of the different pieces that has one of those nubs on them. But more than that, take a look at what they are. They're either long lines or short lines. Now normally in a puzzle hunt puzzle, when you see something that's long and short, whether it's a sound or a symbol, it's usually cluing Morse code. And that's a very common encoding because it's one of the ways that you can put letters into your puzzle without explicitly putting the letters in. Note also that the symbols are going particular directions. These three are all facing horizontal right now, but if we turn the puzzle this way, now these three are facing horizontal. Turn the puzzle another way, and we have these are now facing horizontal. So there's 4 sets of those. And in fact, if you take those symbols, convert them from Morse code to letters, and take them in the order of the pieces, you'll spell the answer to this puzzle. Cool. Which is very thematic given the puzzle's title. In order to solve this puzzle, we need to think very generally about what we might be doing. We made several assumptions that's going to make a completed shape. There aren't going to be holes in it. Those may have to be revised. Usually when you're solving these types of puzzles, it doesn't go as smoothly as I presented in this video. But I wanted to present at least one way that you might come to the answer. Thank you very much for watching, everyone, and as always, happy puzzling!